Joan at Pearlstone, here to talk to you today about herbs. I'm sitting in the middle of my herb garden, and you might wonder, how do I decide? How do you decide what herbs to grow in your yard? And I would ask the simple question, what do you like? Do you like dill? Do you like parsley? Do you like mint? Do you like basil? Do you like flowers? I would encourage you to grow things that you like. In my herb spiral, I have lavender and chives and thyme and rosemary. I like things to cook with. I like things that attract butterflies. I like things that attract pollinators. Every year I have both annuals as well as perennials in my garden. Annuals are things like basil or dill that you have to replant each year, either with a seed or buying a seedling. And perennials, such as this oregano or these chives, keep coming back year after year. My herb spiral is planted in full sun, and I would encourage you to think about the sunniest spot in your yard to plant herbs. You might consider making it close to your kitchen so that you can easily pop on out and clip some herbs before dinner. I'm going to share with you several ways that I use herbs from my garden. So let's start with parsley. Come on, I'm going to clip some now. I'm going to take this fresh cut parsley and put it on this Seder plate that was handed down to me from the generations, right on the karpas. That's one way I use parsley in my life. Another way is I like to dry parsley. I cut bunches of parsley like this. I dry it. I wash it, I dry it, I spread it out. I would trim the stems off and then spread a whole cookie sheet full of parsley out and pop it in the oven for maybe a couple of hours, but on really low heat, on 170 degrees. When it's done, take it out, crush it, jar it. Here's a jar of parsley I made in 2019. Some years I also put them in smaller jars and give them out as gifts. Everybody in my family loves pesto. Now, pesto is made from basil, garlic, pine nuts, Parmesan cheese, and olive oil, or any other combination of nuts and seeds that you would like. What I do is make a whole batch of it, put it in ice cube trays, and then pop them out after they're frozen. Store them in Ziploc bags in my freezer, and then voila. Cook some pasta and have pesto all year long. We still have pesto now during this crisis, so I'm especially glad for all of the basil that we grew in 2019. Another way I like to store basil is by drying it and hanging it in my kitchen. I'm going to clip a little rosemary now. Because we love rosemary roasted potatoes. And all you have to do is take the rosemary off at the stem. It smells so delicious. Chop it up. Chop up your potatoes, add a little olive oil and salt, put them in a pan, roast them at 400 for about 40 minutes. Rosemary roasted potatoes. I just went and clipped some mint and some lemon balm. And I love tea. In fact, I drink tea every day. I don't drink any coffee. I got this teapot when I was 18 in San Francisco. You do the math, it's lasted a long time. What I like to do is, when I steep my tea, rip up some herbs, put it on in there with the tea, and then I have herbed tea. And you could also just make tea of herbs. You don't have to add it to a specific kind of tea. I like green tea, and green tea with mint and lemon balm is delicious for me in the morning. I like to end by sharing some of the books that really inspired me. The first one is called the complete book of herbs. From wild strawberries to hyssop to thymes, this is a wonderful introduction of the many kinds of herbs that you can plant and their uses and things that you can make with them. Now, the second book that's one of my favorite in the kitchen is by the Moosewood Restaurant. It's called The Moosewood Restaurant Kitchen Garden. When I open this book, it automatically goes to my pesto recipe. This is my most used recipe of all of my cookbooks. The Moosewood Garden. Please think about this as you decide what herbs will grow in your yard. Send me an email if you'd like some help picking out the herbs for your garden. Happy growing!